it's 51-50.
Or was it 51-50?
The 53-51, I believe, was Rantoul.
It was a very... They had a close game, and we handled Mahomet pretty easily at our place at the end of the Thanksgiving tournament, 51-30. Mahomet not quite as good this year as they were last year, but still it's a pretty good basketball team.
Yeah.
Mattoon got down, I think, quite a double digits in that game and came back on them and nearly pulled it off. So we'll have to watch them tonight.
Yeah, you just know they're 0-4, right? They're playing a home game. They're probably, going to come in with a little bit of a chip on their shoulder. So we've got to be ready for that. This is going to be a hungry team, and we've got to come in prepared and not making any assumptions based on our record. And like I said, they've always played us well at their place. These games have always been close.
We talked about that off air, and I've been coming down here off and on for 40 years, and we never really, no matter how talented, we've never really played all that well here in Mattoon's gym, and I can't explain it. I don't know why.
No.
There are just some places you go into and you don't play well, and I don't know what the deal is.
Yeah.
But they've always played us close. Of course, Mattoon does not have Sam Bradbury this year. That may help us somewhat.
He's throwing the shot put at Eastern. He's throwing the shot put for us down at EIU where I work, and so, that'll be a big change too. Is Sam, big, 6'8", 240, 250-pound kid, has been in the middle for them. We don't have to worry about keeping him off the glass tonight. They don't have a lot of size, so we'll see if they kind of play an open post offense like we do or play a lot of guards. I do know one of their better players is a young man with the last name of Larson, good shooter, their leading scorer. His mom is a faculty member at Eastern, so we've got to watch him. But I don't really know. A lot of these other kids, I think, have limited varsity experience.
Let's send it back to the station for a 1-minute word from some of our sponsors. When we come back, JT and I will have more of the Ground Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic pregame show. You're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.
If you love them enough to crawl into a play place to get them to come down, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're in the right car seat.
Back at Mattoon High School, Jay Harden, Justin Tierney with the Josh Comnick Ground Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic Center pregame show. JT, we were talking, you haven't seen Lincoln play yet this year in person or on video?
No, my 4-year-old son, he runs the TV at our house, so I have not had a chance to see this varsity group. Of course, I saw a lot of these young men last year. I'm sure Peyton Cook's a key player for us down in the block, and I know we surround him with some shooters and some athletes on the perimeter, so I'm looking forward to seeing kind of how things are going to work tonight.
Peyton comes into this basketball game averaging about 15 points a game and about 7 rebounds a game. He's produced, he really is the straw that stirs the drink here. But something that's a little bit unusual is that Coach Alexander went with a somewhat inexperienced point guard in Keon Carson.
Yeah.
Keon Carson, of course, running back for the football team.
Sure.
And had Aiden Gowan and Tyler Sassi and Camden Nelson coming off the bench. A couple of guys that started last year and another guy who could start. That's a pretty potent triple threat coming off the bench.
Yeah, well, and it's great to see a rotation with 8 guys, and if they're all bought in and all playing the right way, I mean, similar to a lot of Lincoln teams, this is a group that I know maybe doesn't have a headline star, all-state, elite player, but we have 8 guys that are all very skilled, all very capable. If we execute what we can do, we're going to be tough on most nights.
This team set the bar pretty high last year with winning 25 games and making it to the regional championship game over at Muhammad Seymour and playing them tough. I'm sure more is expected by Neal out of this basketball team this year, and they have an opportunity to do some damage in the postseason.
Yeah.
When you've got a 6'7" guy in the middle who can block shots, who can get a double-double, who can step out and shoot the three, and is a little bit quicker than probably most post guys, he's going to cause a lot of problems.
Yeah, Peyton was just grew so much from the beginning of the year last year to the end of the year. You could just see his rapid improvement. Very skilled, very quick off the floor as well. So I'm sure that he will cause some problems for a Mattoon squad tonight that doesn't have a lot of size. I wouldn't be surprised if we go and try to establish him early. Coach Al has usually kind of got that MO when he's got a big guy. He's going to get him the ball early and see what that opens up on the exterior.
And, we're going with a man-to-man defense. I would expect a guy maybe like Jake Biven to be able to take some guys off the dribble.
Yep.
As, he's a slasher, gets a lot of layups, gets a lot of shots close in. But Jake has kind of developed that stop and hit the 15-footer, that mid-range jumper, which Dylan Singleton was very good at when he was here.
Yeah, and I always think the best Lincoln teams create offense from their defense too, right? And like we said earlier in the pregame show, who knows what they're going to be ready for from this press. Every once in a while we will just come out like a buzzsaw and just blitz somebody off the press. And if you're a first-time point guard and a first-time coach and you've got to, bring the ball up 75, 84 feet, whatever it is in this gym, it can be a long night. So we'll hope to really maybe put some pressure on them defensively as well and turn those into points.
It's been a subject of discussion this year. I have yet to see it because Coach didn't use it in the Thanksgiving tournament, but some tournaments are using the shot clock this year, and we think it's going to be used down at Collinsville. I stand by what I've said earlier. The shot clock may be something that really benefits Lincoln because the defense is going to cause shot clock violations.
100%. I'm 100% in agreement. And I talked about this with several people. It's like people have this impression because we play low-scoring games that we hold the ball. It's like, wait a minute. How many passes does a team usually have to get on our defense before they get a shot up? Now, where it will be critical, I think, for Lincoln, and what will determine whether it's a good move for Lincoln or not, how do we rebound? Because you're going to see lower quality shots, which is going to produce a lot more rebounds, and rebounding out of a zone, and just we don't always have the kind of caliber of athletes who can go up and rebound. I could see that being a challenge, but I think it's totally to our benefit, traditional defense. And Coach Al's got a long list of quick hitter sets for late shot clock scenarios and things like that. If we got to get a shot up, we're going to find a way. I mean, this is a guy who has 90 out of bounds plays or whatever it is. We're going to be fine in terms of late shot clock situations and getting reasonably good shots up.
Let's go ahead and send it back to the station for yet another 1-minute timeout and a word from our sponsors. You're listening to the Josh Connick Brown Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic pregame show on WLCN. This is Lincoln Railer basketball.
Whether you're buying or selling your home, the brokers of Me Realty will work with you to get the deal done. As one of Central Illinois' top producing offices for decades, Me Realty has the experience to guide you through the process. You want results? Call the brokers of Me Realty at 217-735-5424, stop by the office at 602 Keokuk Street in Lincoln, or check out local listings online at merealty.com.
Culver's is a family restaurant. To me, that means being the place that puts a smile on everyone's face. We're famous for our cooked-to-order butter burgers and frozen custard made daily inside our restaurants. But we've always believed more menu options mean more ways to brighten your day. We source the finest chicken to bring you our tenders and chicken sandwiches. And our cheese curds. They're a Wisconsin tradition we're proud to share with you. So take the next meal shift off and let us take care of you. Welcome to Delicious.
Culver's, home of the Butterburger, 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln.
Mattoon High School, Jay Harden, Justin Tierney, continuing the Josh Connick Brown Incorporated Schneider Chiropractic Center pregame show. So JT, a Lincoln Railer squad that had very little experience going into last year, grew up quite a bit last year, has had one bump in the road already against Mount Zion. They didn't shoot the ball particularly well against Mount Zion, and that may be the Achilles heel still if this basketball team is having a consistent offense throughout the year. In fact, I'll tell you what, let's talk about that because we need to talk about the Me Realty list and keys to the game. Me Realty. When it's time to sell, if you're looking to buy, check the listings at merealty.com. So 3 things you think are keys to tonight's game.
Well, I'm going to start with the defense. And like I said, how are they going to attack it with this new coach and probably inexperienced guards? Peyton Cook, you know, he's the best athlete on the floor. He's the best probably overall player on the floor. We got to get him the ball, of course. And then you said it sounds like, I'm going to lean on you for this, it sounds like we need some consistent shooting.
If we need anything, yes, I think it's consistent. Maybe it's more consistent offense than it is consistent shooting because, you know, you can't always depend on the outside shots to fall. If the outside shot's not falling, you got to get some layups in there somewhere. And really, as Coach always says, we have to play from the inside out. We've got to establish an inside game and then start kicking it out to our shooters. So I'm going to say consistent offense as the keys to the game. So the Me Realty list of the game: defense, Peyton Cook, and a consistent offense tonight here against the Mattoon Green Wave. Again, Lincoln 3-1. 0-1 in the Apollo Conference. In their final year in the Apollo Conference, you're going to be kind of sad because you were able to see us at least probably 3 times a year coming down here.
It's bittersweet, but I believe, I grew up in the Central State 8 myself. I'm very happy for all the families in Lincoln that want to go watch, their son or daughter play a sporting event and only have to go 30 minutes. It's the better move. I was very proud to see the school board make that move. The Apollo Conference has got great people, great hospitality. I think, that's all been great, but just the distance, I'm happy for the people of Lincoln to be in that traditional conference in a little closer proximity. For me, selfishly, of course, I want to see more regular games.
I think that's the one thing is during the time in the Apollo, at least from a basketball perspective, we've been able to establish a couple of rivalries in here. Mount Zion, Mahomet Seymour.
Yeah.
To an extent, Effingham has always played us very tough. So there have been some times when we've been able to establish a little bit of a rivalry. It's probably a pretty good fit from an enrollment perspective anyway for all of the programs. Yeah. But when you sit and look at the travel, that really is the killer.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not just for us, it's for them too.
Yeah, well, and I've always told people, basketball and football got it easy. They play on Friday and Saturday nights. Soccer and swimming and, all the other sports that are weekday sports miss time in the classroom for baseball games. And, to me, it was, I'm just an alum. I don't have kids in Lincoln. I haven't lived in Lincoln for many years. But I was proud to see that move. And, it hurts me to not be able to see them, but I'll be watching them on YouTube on WLCN.
There you go.
I'll be taking in the games in that way for sure. Once a Railer, always a Railer, right?
And to talk about that, going back to the Central State 8, there seem to be a lot of people in Lincoln happy to go back. A lot of people in the Central State 8 are happy to have Lincoln come back in. Mm-hmm. But the Central State 8 is adding Quincy Notre Dame for football come 2024, which means there will be 2 divisions in the Central State 8 for football.
Yeah, that'll be nice too. And I'll tell you one thing. I bet you nobody in the Apollo is crying about us leaving.
I doubt it.
Especially for basketball. So, like I've always said, that, they were, as much as many people in Lincoln had mixed feelings being here in the communities down here, there's very mixed feelings about having to go all the way up to Lincoln. I always tell them some of my favorite spots and some of our sponsors that they can patronize when they make the trip up there, but I think it's good for everybody, and I'll be looking forward to Lincoln Lanphier twice a year and Lincoln Southeast twice a year, no doubt.
That's going to wrap it up from here on the pregame show. After a word from our sponsors, Justin and I will be back here in Mattoon to bring you the play-by-play action as Lincoln takes on the Mattoon Green Wave. As always, a big thank you goes out to all of our sponsors. This has been the Josh Conn McGraw Incorporated and Snyder Chiropractic pregame show, and you're listening to Lincoln Railer Basketball on WLCN 96.3 FM. We will be back here at Mattoon in 1 minute.
The following is a presentation of WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com. WLCN 96.3 FM and WLCNonline.com present Lincoln Community High School Rail Splitter Basketball. WLCN's live stream video coverage of Railer basketball is brought to you by these fine sponsors. Me Realty, locally owned and operated. Me Realty is Logan County's top producing real estate agency year after year. Call 217-735-5424 or browse listings online at merealty.com. Culver's of Lincoln, home of the Butterburger. Stop by before or after the game, located at 2530 Woodlawn Road in Lincoln. Heartland Community College is Lincoln's community college. At Heartland, you'll get the personal attention and support you need to be a successful student. Discover Heartland, discover your future. Visit heartland.edu/Lincoln. Schneider Masonry, family owned and operated in Central Illinois with over 40 years of experience serving builders, contractors, and homeowners. Free estimates available. Call 217-314-9654. Blades Nail and Hair Salon, located at 241 Madigan Drive in Lincoln, offering salon services for hair, skincare, waxing, nails, lashes, and brows. Go online to bladeshairandnailsalon.com or call 217-732-7213. Thank you for watching WLCN's coverage of Lincoln Community High School Rail Splitter basketball.